Namaste. Thanks for joining me for yoga today. I'm Ari Leon, and I'm going to guide you through a sequence that I like to do when I don't feel like thinking about anything. It's pretty traditional with Surya Namaskar A and B. We'll open up the hips and get out of the head. If you have two blocks at home, go ahead and grab them. You can set them up near the top of your mat. And if you want to do this practice while listening to music, I have a playlist in the link below. So go ahead and make your way to the top of your mat, standing on your feet, hips width apart. Glance down at your feet, lift all your toes up off the floor, spread them wide to create a nice big base, and then root your toes back down. Ground into the ball mounds of your feet the most, and your heels, of course. But lift through the arches of your feet. Imagine you're drawing energy up from the floor, and that continues to lift through your kneecaps as you tone your quadriceps. Add a little bit of a bend in your knees so we don't lock them out. Now draw your tailbone towards the floor, just enough to tone your lower abdominals. Exhale, relax your arms down by your sides. Inhale, roll your shoulders up by your ears. Exhale, roll your shoulder blades back and down. Do that again. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, retract your shoulder blades, snuggle them down your spine. One more time. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, keep your shoulders relaxed back and down, palms face forward. Now inhale as you swoop your palms wide to the sides, all the way up over your head until you see your fingertips connect. Exhale, pull your hands together in front of your chest, bowing inwards. Inhale, watch your prayer rise back up over your head. Exhale, separate your palms wide all the way down by your sides, drawing chin to chest. We'll repeat that again, connecting movement with breath. Inhale, arms wide, feel your rib cage expand to create more space to fill with breath. Exhale, hands to the chest, feel your rib cage retract to press out the breath. Use your whole inhale to send your prayers skyward. How tall can you get? Use your exhale to separate your palms, rainbow them down by your sides, chin to the chest. Do that again. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands together at heart center. Inhale, send your prayer back up over your head. Exhale, arms wide down by your sides. Now breathe in, lift your right arm up by your ear. Keep your left palm bracing against your left thigh and lean to the left. Feel your right heel get a little heavier. Sway your hips to the right a little bit. Lift your chin off of your chest and fill the right lungs with a little bit more breath. Now inhale, reach up with both arms over your head. Exhale, release your right arm down by your right leg. Grow a little taller as you breathe in. Exhale, lean over to your right. Feel your left heel get heavy. Lean your hips to the left. Breathe into your left ribs. Lift through your chin. One more breath. And inhale, rise up, both arms overhead. Exhale as you open your elbows wide and squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. Now keeping that retraction in your rhomboids, lift your heart, lift your chin, lengthen your tailbone towards the earth for a standing back bend. Be here now, one more round. Inhale, re-extend your arms back over your head. Swan dive, forward fold. Bend your knees a little or a lot. We're just getting started. Inhale, slide your hands up the front of your shins. Lengthen your spine halfway up. Roll your shoulders down your back. Hug your low ribs in. Now exhale as you fold forward a little bit deeper. Draw chin to chest at the very end of your out breath. Rise to standing with a long spine. Inhale, arms open wide to the sides. Look up, reach up. Exhale, draw your hands together in front of your heart. Anjaneyasana. Do that again. Inhale, extend your prayers skyward. Exhale, dive forward, arms wide, all the way down towards the earth. Inhale, slide your hands up your shins, lengthen your spine parallel to the floor, looping your shoulders back again. Exhale, fold forward a little bit deeper than you did before. Inhale, coming all the way up. Open your arms wide to the side. Strong shoulder blades help you rise. Hands connect overhead. Exhale, hands together. Anjaneyasana mudra in the front of your chest. Last one. Inhale, re-extend your prayer to the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale to lengthen halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, place your hands on the floor, step your feet back into plank pose. We'll be here for 5 breaths, so you're more than welcome to lower your knees to the mat. Gaze down, spread out your fingers, grounding into the ball mounds of your hands the most, especially where your index finger turns into your palm, that metacarpal knuckle. Now watch your elbow creases spiral in to face one another, and feel your upper back round as you push down. Elongate your tailbone towards your heels, feel your low belly activate. Turn on your quads. Take one more breath here. Exhale, go slow as you lower your body to the floor. Roll your shoulders back and down, hug your elbows in, and when you release, untuck your toes so the tops of your feet are on the floor for baby cobra. Lengthen your tailbone. Inhale, lift your head, lift your chest, relax your shoulders back, and focus on pulling the floor back with your hands. Now exhale, release your forehead down onto the ground. Slide your hands back a few inches so they're by your lower ribs, beneath your elbows. Now breathe in to lift your head and chest. This time, option to lift your hips and thighs, coming into upward facing dog. Keep that little bend in your elbows. Roll your shoulder blades down your back, and then look up to open your throat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips nice and high, hugging your navel in. You can roll over the tops of your feet or bend your knees. We'll be here for 5 breaths. So activate all the same technique you practiced with your hands and your arms. And as you look back at your legs, notice if they look parallel to you. Let your heels disappear behind your ankles with a slight internal rotation. Feel free to bend your knees, especially if that helps you lengthen your tailbone. Hug your lower ribs in, spiral your triceps towards the floor, and press through the ball mounds of your hands a little bit more. Take one more breath, relax your ears between your arms. Exhale. Now breathe in, rise onto your tippy toes, look forward towards your hands. Exhale as you bend your knees a lot, then walk or hop lightly to the top. Feet are going to be hips width apart. Inhale to extend your spine, hands to the shins, roll your shoulders back. Exhale as you fold forward, draw your chin towards your chest at the very end of your out breath. Inhale, rise, arms go wide all the way up over your head, reach up, look up. Exhale, pull your hands together in front of your chest. Another round of Sun Salutation A. Inhale, breathe and reach. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale to extend halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana, shoulders back, ribs in. Exhale, place your hands on your mat, step or float your feet back. From plank to Chaturanga, exhale everything out. It's a tricep push-up, so hug your elbows in. And then you choose baby cobra with your hips on your mat, or upward dog with your hips hovering. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hug your belly button in towards your spine. And we'll take 4 breaths here this time. Practice the same technique you did in your previous downward dog. So every time you enter this shape, it's a little bit stronger, a little more mindful, and a little more refined. We'll be here for 1 more breath. Enjoy it. Exhale. Inhale, elevate your heels, look up to prepare. Exhale, bend your knees a lot. Walk or hop lightly to the top. Feet hips width apart, extend your spine and your legs halfway lift. Exhale, fold back in, chin towards chest. Inhale to rise, arms go wide, Utthita Tadasana, look up. Exhale, hands to heart in Anjaneyasana mudra. Last one, inhale, reach up over your head. Exhale, dive forward, maybe the legs stay a little straighter this time. Inhale to extend halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, place your palms on your mat, step or float like you're wearing roller skates, Chaturanga Dandasana. Exhale. Inhale, roll your shoulders down your back, lift your heart, up dog. Exhale, hug your navel in towards the spine, lift your hips, downward dog. Breathe for 3. 2. Last one. Inhale, lift your heels, look up. Exhale, bend your knees. Walker, hop, or handstand lightly to the top. This time bring your feet together and then lengthen your spine halfway up. Exhale, fold in a little deeper. Inhale to rise, hug your leg bones together. That'll help you rise with ease. Now draw your hands through your heart center and down by your sides. Take one of those shoulder shrugs. Inhale up. Exhale back and down. Now with your big toes touching, sit your hips back into chair pose. Bend your knees, bring your hands forward in front of your shoulders. Roll your shoulders back and down, and maybe the arms continue to extend up by the ears. Now shift your weight into your heels, bring your hips back a little bit more, and then bend your knees a bit deeper. Curl your tailbone towards the earth just to create space in your hip flexors. And then drawing the low belly in and up. Find the core, which is more than just your abdominals. It's the whole midline of your body. The inner thighs, the navel drawing to the spine, the shoulders squeezing on the back. Maybe the hands connect on this last breath. Take an in-breath. Exhale, fold forward, lengthen through your legs. Inhale, extend your spine, halfway rise, light up your kneecaps. Exhale, hands to your mat, step or float your feet back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Now these push-ups are always optional. You can skip them at any point and meet in downward facing dog. Exhale everything out, and then place your right foot by your right thumb. Spin your left heel to the ground. Use your breath in to rise up for Warrior 1. Now we're slowly moving through Sun Salutation B. Ground the right heel underneath the right knee. Use that to help you drive your right hip back. Ground your left heel. Drive your left hip forward. And then draw your tailbone towards your mat. Soften your shoulders back and down. Knit the bottom ribs in. And maybe the hands connect as you look up. Take one more deep breath in. Now exhale. Release your hands to the earth. Keep breathing out as you step your right foot back into plank pose. And then bend your elbows. Chaturanga. Inhale. Pull your chest forward. Upward facing dog. Exhale. Push your hips backwards. Downward facing dog. Place your left foot by your left thumb. Spin your right heel to the mat. Inhale, coming up to Warrior 1. Now as we do Surya Namaskar B, this sequence, we don't lift the leg into 3-legged dog, we just slide it forward. And we'll use the same exhale when we do this breath to movement. For now, just refine your Warrior 1. Left knee over the ankle, ground the back heel, drive the right hip forward, lengthen your tailbone, and then begin to look up as you deepen your lunge. One more breath, hands connect. Exhale, release, hands to mat. Keep breathing out, step it back to plank, chaturanga, lengthen through your tailbone, use your abdominals. Upward facing dog, squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. Downward facing dog, hug your navel in to help you lift your hips. Now enjoy 3 deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale. For 2. One more, long and slow. Inhale, lift your heels, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees. Walker spring to the top of your mat, feet together, halfway lift. Exhale, fold back in. Now sit into your chair pose. Bend your knees, curl your tailbone towards the floor. Hands travel forward or up. Sitting a little bit deeper. Take one more in-breath. Then rise to standing, arms shoot down by your sides as your crown reaches for the sky. Take a breath here. And then we'll move through that sequence, breath to movement. Inhale, sit into chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold forward, lengthen through your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, extend through your spine, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands to the mat, step or float, Chaturanga. Inhale, lift your chest, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, Updog. Exhale, lift your hips, Adho Mukha Svanasana, Downward Dog. Now on that same exhale, place your right foot by your right thumb, spin your left heel to the ground. Use one breath in to rise up, Warrior One. Exhale, release your hands to your mat. Keep breathing out, step back through plank pose into Chaturanga. Inhale will carry you through Updog. Exhale will take you home, Downward Facing Dog. On that same breath out, left foot steps forward, right heel comes to the ground. Inhale, come all the way up into your Warrior One. Exhale, release your hands to your mat. Take a step back, lower towards the earth, or skip it at any point in your practice. Moving through your vinyasa, ending up in Downward Dog. We'll take 3 breaths. Inhale. 2. 1. Inhale, elevate your heels, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees a lot. Walk, spring, handstand to the top. Feet together, widen through your heels, halfway lift. Exhale, bow back in. Sit into chair pose, bending your knees, curl your tail, arms by the ears, just for the breath in. Then rise to standing, arms by your sides. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, Utkatasana, sit back. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Exhale, hands to mat, step or float, Chaturanga Dandasana. Exhale. Breathing in, upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha. Keep breathing out, right foot forward, left heel to the mat, 45 degrees. One breath in to rise up, Warrior One. Exhale, release your hands to the mat. Breathe out as you step it back and lower towards the earth. Squeeze your knees the whole time. Inhale through upward dog. That tone in your quads will help you lift your hips up and back. Keep breathing out as your left foot steps forward. Spin your right heel to the mat. Inhale to rise, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, release hands to the earth. Lengthen through plank, lower through Chaturanga. Inhale, flip the tops of your feet to the floor. Turn on the quads, up dog. Roll over the tops of your feet. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. Breathe for 3. 2. Now stay here after this last breath. Watch your feet come together. Watch your right leg as you lift it up into 3-legged dog. Now press out through the ball mound of your foot like you're standing on something with your tippy toes. Then spiral your right toenails in and up so your pinky toenails spiral towards the floor. Then keeping that internal rotation of your right leg, maybe you can lift your right leg a little bit more. Allow the weight of your right leg to help you stretch your left leg as you root firmly into your right palm and level off your shoulders. One more deep breath. And inhale, hover your left heel nice and high. Exhale, step forward with your right foot. Place it between your thumbs. Keeping your back heel lifted, bring your hands to your hips. Rise up into high lunge. Now ground into the ball mound of the front foot and the right big toe. You can look at it with your eyes. I like to say in my head, big toe, stay on the floor, big toe. Now take a breath in as you hover your hips. Exhale, hover your left knee just an inch above the earth. Inhale, re-extend your left leg. Exhale, get low, but don't touch. Do that again for 3. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. For 2. Inhale, rise. Now stay low with your hips so your right thigh bone is parallel to the earth. Press back through your left heel, forward with your right shin, and upward with your arms overhead. Feel your left quadricep engage and your glute. Relax your shoulders back, lift through your chest, your chin. Maybe the hands connect. High lunge, inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to plank elbows in as you lower. Inhale, put the tops of your feet to the floor, lift your chest. Hug your belly button and lift your hips. Now, watch your left leg lift. Notice if your toes spiral open. See if you can turn your toes in a little bit, like your pigeon toe. Maintaining that internal rotation, explore how high you can lift your left heel using your hamstring strength. Grounding through the ball mound of the right foot, the ball mound of both hands. Take another breath into the hamstring of that right leg. And then hover your right heel, breathing in. Exhale, step your left foot between your thumbs gracefully. Bring your hands to your hips. Ground into that left big toe to fire up your inner thigh muscles. And then lift your chest, shoulders back. Take a breath up high. Exhale, hover the right knee an inch above the earth. Inhale, re-extend your right leg. 4 more. Exhale, ground into that left big toe. You can look at it with your eyes. If the balance gets tricky, just ask it to stay on the ground, and that'll trigger all the way up the inner line of your legs. 1 more. Lift your hips high. Exhale, hover. Keep your left thigh bone parallel to the earth as you press back through your right heel. Inhale, arms fly up overhead. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. Spiral your pinkies in. Option to bring your hands together. Hugging everything to the midline. The ball mounds of your palms, your navel to your spine, your inner thighs. Deepen the left knee. 1 more breath in. Exhale, release hands to the mat. Step back to plank pose. Inhale. Chaturanga Dandasana, or skip it. We'll meet back in the dog pose. Exhale, hips to the sky. Take a few breaths when you arrive. Enjoy 1 more long and slow breath here. Now watch your feet come together again. Watch your right leg lift again. This time, turn your right toes open towards the right, externally rotating your right leg. Now keep the quadricep of your left leg strong and engaged, and start to lift your right heel a little higher. Keep it in line with your hip. Just use your abductors now to stretch through the inseam of your stretchy pants. Relax your left heel towards the ground. Press into your right hand a little more. Last breath. Now hover your left heel, breathe in. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your thumbs. Spin your left heel to the ground, 90 degrees. Inhale, rise up and open for warrior 2. Gaze forward. Stack your right knee over your ankle. And look for the big toe inside of your right thigh bone. But imagine your left hand wanted to touch the wall behind you. Lean back so your ribs stack right over your hips. Feel your shoulder blades squeeze together on your back body, that rhomboid engagement, and add a little bend in your elbows to activate your triceps. Bend into the right knee a little bit deeper. Exhale everything out. Inhale. Lift your right arm upwards over your head. Relax your left arm down your back leg. Reverse your warrior. Option to add a half bind. You take your left arm across your lower back, hold onto your shirt, or try to press your right thigh bone down and forward while you reach up and back. Breathing into your right lungs. 1 more round. Good. Inhale, come up through warrior 2. Exhale as you reach forward and rest your right forearm on your right thigh, and your left hand can reach up for the sky. Guide your right knee open with the help of your elbow. Draw your right sitting bone under towards your left heel. Grounding into the ball mound of your right foot so much you can lift your right hip bone off of your right thigh bone, creating space in your hip crease to deepen your pose. Maybe your right hand travels to the block or the earth outside of your right foot, or that left arm can travel long by your ear, extended side angle pose. If you have a practice of adding a bind, half or full, go for it. Either way, see if you can ground into the outer edge of your left foot a little bit more. Fire up that left quad and glute. And from your strong left leg, create a little more length on the left side of your waist. One more breath. Go ahead and look down towards the ground. Inhale, come up to warrior two. Bend into your right knee just a little deeper as you breathe out. Now inhale, lengthen your right leg, bring your hands to your hips. Pivot your right toes in, and then pivot your left heel in. So your stance gets a little bit shorter as you face the back of your mat for triangle pose. Open your arms wide to a T. Gaze beyond your left fingertips, breathe in. Exhale, reach beyond your left toes. Sway your hips back. And then place your left hand down on your shin or your thigh. Either way, watch your quads turn on with your eyes. Feel your kneecaps rise. Then look up if that feels okay on your neck. Gazing at your right thumb through your left eyeball. Loop your shoulders back like we did in the very beginning. Activate your rhomboids. Hug your lower ribs in. Lengthen your tailbone and breathe into that right side of your waistband. Now some of you might be able to take your left peace fingers around your left big toe. If you want to find that variation, press your big toe into your peace fingers and squish them through the floor. But then imagine someone was pulling you up by your right hand and you wanted to get out of that bind, find a little lift. Okay, take another deep breath. Start to bring your right arm alongside your ear, parallel to the earth. From your right hip to your right hand, fill it with breath. Now gaze down toward your left foot and place your right hand on the floor. Bend your left knee as much as you need to so you can pivot to the outer edge of your right foot for side plank. Now you can keep your left big toe in your peace fingers as you reach your left leg up towards the sky, or stack your left foot over your right foot. Can you make it feel just like triangle pose? Squeezing the shoulder blades together, left sitting bone reaching for right heel, turning on the quads, gazing up. 2 more breaths. Okay, exhale, release into plank pose facing the back of your mat. Take a breath in. Exhale for Chaturanga. Hug your elbows in, shoulders squeeze, lengthen your tail. Inhale through upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. New point of view, same you. Take a few breaths just to reorient yourself. The technology, the technique, it's all the same. Grounding to the ball mounds, the fingertips, spiral your triceps towards the floor. Hug your lower ribs in, lift through the tail, spiral your inner thighs back. And take one last breath. And exhale. Now watch your feet come together and watch your left leg lift. Turn your left toes open, externally rotate your left leg, and then let the front of your waistband open to the left as well as you lift your left heel even more, the abductor. Use that muscle to lift through your outer left foot, keeping your heel aligned with your hip. Stretching through the inner thighs, round into the left palm a little more, level off your shoulders, last breath. And then lift your right heel as you breathe in. Step forward with your left foot, place it between your thumbs. Spin your right heel to the ground, 90 degrees. Inhale, spiral your heart up and open. Warrior two. Send your left shin farther forward. Gaze down, look for the big toe inside of your thigh bone. Then reach your right hand farther back. Feel the stack of your ribs right over your hips. Lengthen your tailbone towards the ground. Feel your right leg turn on, the quad, the glute. Gazing forward. Exhale. Inhale, watch your left arm lift upwards over your head. Reverse your warrior. Your right hand can drape down your back leg or add the half bind if you did that on the other side. Pressing your left thigh bone down and forward as you reach up and back. One more breath. Okay. Inhale, come up through warrior two. Exhale, reach forward and rest your left forearm on your thigh. Right hand straight up to the sky to begin. Guide your left knee open towards the pinky toe edge of your left foot. Draw your left sitting bone under towards your right heel. And ground into the outer edge of that right foot as the left arm extends long over your ear for extended side angle pose. Option to add any other variations, bringing your left hand towards a block or a mat outside of your foot. If you worked your way into a half bind or full bind, take your next forward breath to explore that depth. Notice if you're compressing your right hip crease. Ground into your right heel a little bit more. Lift your right hip bone off of your thigh bone. And without that compression, you create a little more space to deepen your pose. Last breath. Gaze down at the ground. Inhale, come up through warrior two. Stay here, deepen the left knee. You've got this. Exhale. Now lengthen your left leg. Bring your hands to your hips. Breathe in. Spin your left toes in and your right heel in. Now facing the front of your mat, open your arms wide. Take a deep breath. Turn on your legs. And then reach out beyond your right toes. Pivot your right hand down towards your shin or your thigh, or use your block. Now you can feel your quads turn on, or you can look at them with your eyes. And then shift your drishti, your focus, upwards towards the sky. Feel your shoulders squeeze together on your back. And maybe the right peace fingers pick up the right big toe. Pressing your toe into your peace fingers and pulling your fingers up into your toe. Strong in the legs, breathe into the left side of your waistband. And then start to stretch your left arm long over your ear, parallel to the earth. From your hip to your hand, take a deep breath in. And then begin to look towards the floor, your right foot. Place your left hand down on the ground, bending your right knee as much as you need to. Spin to the outer edge of your left foot, so the pinky toes on the floor. And either stack your right foot on top of your left foot, or lift your right leg up towards the sky, like you're doing triangle pose, upside down. Drawing your right sits bone towards your left heel, feel your shoulders squeeze, press up with the big toe, and maybe that gaze turns up to the sky too. Last breath. Good. Exhale, reset into plank pose, hands to the mat, take a breath in. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, hug your elbows in. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog or child's pose with the knees on the mat, hips on the heels, forehead on the floor. Take 5 breaths wherever you end up. Observe the breath. Witness the body. Listen to the mind. As if you're meeting yourself all over again. Stronger, more mindful, more flexible. Be here now. One more round. Now make your way towards the middle of your mat, walking your feet forwards and your hands backwards. Have your feet hips width apart, which is about 2 fists distance between the arches. Bend your knees as much as you need to, and then take your peace fingers around your big toes. Inhale to extend your legs the best you can. Lengthen through your spine and your arms as well. And then as you press your big toes into your peace fingers, pull up on the big toes with your peace fingers. Bend your elbows wide and draw your belly towards your thighs. Hug chin towards chest, and visually check that your quads are active. Turn on the kneecaps with a little bit of a bend. Scoop your shoulders away from your ears. Maybe the elbows draw in. Courageously lean your hips forward a little bit more. One more deep breath. Release your big toes. With a bend in your knees, round your spine, roll yourself up into standing. Let your arms stay heavy. Shrug your shoulders back and down. Mountain pose. Close your eyes. Take a few breaths to arrive. We started in this shape, but so much has changed since the last time you were here. Feel that stack of your bones, that equal amount of effort and ease. Allow all the swaying to stop. Find calm equanimity. Only then can we move on. When you're ready, shift all your weight into your right leg. Spread out your right toes. Draw your left knee in towards your chest. Interlace your hands in front of your shin. Roll your shoulders up by your ears, and then squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. Now pick a point of focus to look at, and feel your right big toe pushing into the floor, your right quad engaged, and your glute. That's a big muscle, use that one. Now bring your right hand to your hip. Option to bring your left peace fingers around the left big toe. Now maintain a stack of your bones if you want to extend your left leg out in front. If your shoulders start to round forward, it's going to be challenging to balance. So roll your shoulder blades down your back, and that might mean you bend your left knee a little bit. Find that stack, rounding into the right big toe, fire up the quad and the glute. Now go slow as you open up your left knee or your toe towards the left side of the room. Let it feel like triangle pose. Left sits bone reaching for the right heel. Bicep engaged to keep your leg lifted, and maybe the right arm extends in the opposite direction. Catch your balance. Only then consider turning your eyes towards the right. But if you're already having a hard time balancing, no need to add that extra challenge. 2 more breaths. Now bring your knee or toe back in front of you and pass it off to your right hand. So right hand holds onto the left knee or the outer edge of the left foot. Keep looking straight ahead as your left arm reaches back like you're pulling a bow and arrow. The left elbow followed by the left hand. Keep grounding through the right big toe like you've been working on. Turn on the right quad, the glute, shoulder squeeze. Everything remains the same, and maybe the eyes turn to the left. Last 3, 2, 1. Good. Gazing forward. Bring your left arm up by your ear. Hover your leg in space as you bring your right arm up by your ear. Pause for 1 more breath in, and then exhale. Swing your left leg back behind you, 1 leg's distance. Hands to hips. Have your feet hips width apart so you can ground your back heel at 45 degrees. Inhale, lift through your chest and your kneecaps. Exhale, lead with your heart as you dive forward. Now here's where your blocks could come in handy. You can grab your blocks and put one underneath each palm. Or if you don't have any blocks, reach your hands down onto your right shin. Either way, shift a little more weight into your right foot, hug your right hip crease back, squeeze your inner thighs towards the midline, and then explore a little bit more depth. Maybe the hands land on the floor, or if you can drape your chest over your right thigh, reach your fingertips towards the back of your mat, spiral your fingers back. Chest drapes over the thigh, forehead searches for the shin. It's okay to bend your knees. Just focus on the foundation. Keep your back heel on the floor and your front big toe. And add that inner thigh activation, your adductors. Creating a little more space in your spine on your next breath in. Add even more depth on your breath out. Pyramid pose, 1 more breath. Now that you found the foundation, we'll add a twist. Lengthen your spine just halfway up. Keep your left hand down. You could put it on the block underneath your chin. You could put it on your right shin, or maybe your right foot. Take your right hand to your lower back, and notice the more you push down with your left hand, the more your chest spins towards the right. Now that right hand can feel that your sacrum is level, and when you got that, maybe the right arm lifts up to the sky. Do that same shoulder squeeze. Pull your right hip crease back. Find that length in your spine. Exhaling into the belly button, turn on the abs. One more breath. Twisted triangle, Pavrita Trikonasana. Okay, now just look down, keep the twist in your spine. Bend your right knee and walk your left hand forward. Now a block can be useful here. You can put it underneath your left hand. Left hand underneath your left shoulder. Lift your left foot off the floor. Revolved half moon. Now we practiced this internal rotation before. Spin your left toenails inwards, and then your right ribs will lift as well. Absorb the length of your left thigh bone into your hip socket and pull your right hip crease back. From there, option to add a bind, reaching your right hand for your left foot, then kicking your foot into your hand to help you find a little more lightness. Keep a bend in the right knee the whole time. And maybe you take less weight in the left hand. Perhaps just your fingertips rest on the block or the floor. Or, as if you're rolling a bowling ball, look forward and reach your left palm forward. Make sure you're still breathing for 3, 2, 1. If you have your foot in your hand, kick yourself up to stand. Otherwise, step forward with your left foot, feet hips width apart, bend your knees, round your spine, roll up to stand, and relax your arms by your sides. Close your eyes. Let that go. Witness the residual effect. Find that same stack in your bones. Returning to that calm equanimity. Only then can we begin again. This time, shifting the weight on your left foot. Spread out your left toes. You have a big base. Go slow as you draw your right knee into your chest. Hold on to the right shin with your hands and your legs. And find that same stack of your bones. Roll your shoulders back, squeeze them together, activate your rhomboids. Hips directly over the heel, and then grounding into the left heel, the ball mound, the big toe. Feel your left quad fire and your glute. That's a huge muscle, use it. Now maybe right peace fingers, locate the right big toe, and the left hand travels to your hip. Once you make that shift, just find your balance again, find that stack in your bones, and commit to the stack as you re-extend your right leg out in front. Imagine the big toe is doing the action, pulling your hand with it. Shrug your right shoulder blade back and down. Feel steady, drawing the navel in. The left glute is still firing. And maybe, just maybe, we find that same effort and ease, the balance of both. Keeping that, go slow. Open up your right knee or toe to the right, grounding through your left big toe even more. Then the left arm can float off to the side. Steady, just like triangle pose, right sitting bone reaching for left heel, and then use your right bicep a little bit more. Let it help you hold your leg in space. Only if you're feeling steady, then the eyes can travel to the left. Grounding through the big toe, turning on the left quad. Fire up that glute. One more breath. And then bring your right leg back in front of you. Pass it off to your left hand, holding onto the outer right foot or knee. And then keep your eyes looking forward as your right hand reaches back behind you, leading with the elbow. Find the steadiness in your balance. Talk to your big toe. Keep it on the floor. Feel the glute fire, strong inner thighs, and then maybe the eyes turn to the right. Feel that exhale, drawing in the belly. Your root lock, your mula bandha, your core strength, your superpower. Take one more breath. Nice. Right arm by your ear. Look forward. Left arm by your ear. Keep your right heel lifted, last breath. Exhale, swing your right foot behind you, one leg's distance, hands to your hips. Ah, how nice it is to have 2 feet on the floor. Ground down into the outer edge of the back foot, the big toe of the front foot. Inhale, and then lead with your heart as you dive forward, fold. Reach your hands down for your blocks, your shin, or the ground. And use that next breath in to lengthen your spine and shift more weight into your left foot. Hug your left hip crease back, squeeze your inner thighs to the midline, extend long through your crown, and then go slow as you draw your belly down over your thigh, your forehead towards your shin. Maybe the hands reach back, fingertips pointing towards the back of your mat. Remember, it's okay to bend your knees. Have no attachment to touching your nose to your knee or touching your hands to the floor. Focus instead on the foundation. Can you get your back heel on the mat? If not, shorten your stance. And then focus on the even distribution of your weight between your front leg and your back leg. Find that level sacrum. Take one more breath. Inhale to extend your spine. Place your right hand down underneath your chin on a block or onto your left shin or onto your left foot. Then as you push down with that right hand, turn your heart to the left. Check in with the back leg. Feel steady here. Only then turn your eyes up towards the sky. And maybe your left hand floats just above your lips. The more you exhale, the more your navel draws in to activate your core. Find that here. One more. Now maintain the twist in your spine. Look down with your eyes. Walk your right hand forward and lift your right foot off the floor. Revolved half moon. Pavrita Ardha Chandrasana. Now if your right toes are looking to the right, you're going to make it harder on yourself to balance. Turn your right toes inwards towards the left. And that'll help your left ribs lift a little more. Then draw in the length of your right thigh bone, hug your left hip back. Option to bend your right knee and reach for your foot. Now let the kick of your foot into your hand help you balance. Add a little bend in your left knee if you haven't already. And as you look down, explore taking less weight in your right hand, just 2 fingers on the floor or block. Look forward now, steady focus, and perhaps the right arm reaches forward like you're rolling a bowling ball. Keep grounding through the left big toe, keep the knees narrow, and maybe the left leg lengthens a little or a lot. And going slow, let the kick help you rise all the way up, or step your right foot forward, feet hips width, bend the knees, round and rise up to standing. Shrug your shoulders up by your ears. Relax your shoulders back and down. Close your eyes, arms by your sides. Let that go. 2 more deep breaths. Exhale everything out. Inhale. Wash your arms up overhead. Exhale, bow forward, fold. Inhale, extend halfway lift. Exhale, hands to your mat, step it back. Plank pose to Chaturanga. Breathe everything out. Inhale, open up the front of your heart and your hips up, down. Exhale, lift your hips, hugging your belly button in, downward facing dog. Enjoy a few breaths in this symmetrical shape, using all 4 points of contact to ground down. Maybe the heels get a little closer to the floor now that we've opened up the hamstrings a little more. Now bring the feet together. And take 5 counts to swoop your right leg to the sky. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, big step through with your right foot between your thumbs. Lower your left knee down onto the mat. Untuck your left toes. And then place your hands up onto your right thigh. Low lunge. Anjaneyasana. What's it called? Anjaneyasana. Now ground into the ball mound of your front foot. Lift the front of your hip points. Lengthen your tailbone. Drive that left hip forward and towards the floor. Keep your chest lifted and then lift your left arm as well. Now from Anjaneyasana, we'll create a twist. Take a breath in. Now draw your right knee towards the midline momentarily. That way you can get a nice hook of your left armpit outside your right thigh. Press your right hand into your left hand and try to get your thumbs to heart center. Lifting your heart up into your thumbs. But look down with your eyes. Notice if your right knee is not on top of your right ankle. Tuck the left toes under for a moment. Scoot your right knee farther forward. And then maybe you keep the left toes tucked and you lift your left knee up. Keep grounding through the right big toe as you pull your right hip back. Keep firing up your left quadricep and glute as you look up. Option to create the traditional version of this pose, where we ground the left heel. So widen your left foot a little to the left, and then spin your left heel to the mat 45 degrees, just like when we do Warrior One. Now press your right knee into your right arm, don't you pull your right hip crease back, and use the strength of the right leg to drive more weight down your back leg. Gazing up towards the sky, or reaching the arms wide, right hand up, left hand towards the floor. Staying like that, or right arm alongside your ear. Make sure you're still breathing. 2 more. Awesome. Release eyes to the mat, hands to the mat. Big step back with your right leg. Breathe in, high plank. Breathe out, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Whew, take a deep breath in. Smooth breath out. Now lift your left leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, step forward with your left foot, place it between your thumbs. Lower your right knee down onto the ground. Or Anjaneyasana, lunge. Arms rest onto the left thigh. Roll your shoulders down your back. And then use the strength of your left hamstring by grounding down into that left heel and ball mound. Imagine you could pull the floor back, isometrically engaged. Then instead of compressing the hip crease, think about lifting the front of your hip bones up and drawing your tailbone towards the floor. Even if that means you can't lunge as deep as you'd like. We'll protect the low back this way, which is pretty important before we add a twist. So keep your left hand on your thigh and bring your right arm up towards the sky. How much length can you create from your grounded knee to your lifted arm? Now use all of that length. Guide your left knee towards the midline momentarily. Hook your right armpit or elbow outside your left thigh. And then see if you can get your hands to meet at heart center. Lifting your heart up into your thumbs. Now gaze down, just check in. See if your knee's over your ankle. It could go a little bit before, in front of the ankle. So scooching the left knee up the mat will help with that. And then you could keep looking down. Watch your right big toe stay on the floor as you tuck your left toes and lift your left knee. Turn on the left quad and the glute. Feel all of that happening. And then you can steadily shift your eyes up towards the sky. Stay as you are. Or if you're breathing okay, widen your right foot to the right. Spin your right heel to the ground like Warrior One. Press your left knee into your left elbow, your right elbow, so you can pull your left hip back. And then gazing up. Or reaching the arms apart, right hand towards the earth, left hand towards the sky. Use the strength of your left foot to drive more weight into your back foot. And then perhaps left arm alongside the ear. Steady in the breath, 3 more. Awesome. Release hands to the floor. Inhale, step it back, high plank. Exhale, Chaturanga or skip it. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha, up dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. Awesome work. Take a few breaths. that you added that deep twist in your spine, see if there's any extra length as you press from your hands to your hips on this last cycle. And breathing in, lift your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, bring your right shin behind your wrists with your knee reaching for your right wrist and your toes going near your left wrist. Pigeon pose. Lower your hips to the floor or onto a block or a pillow. You choose the intensity of your stretch by how parallel your right shin is with the top of your mat. So for more intensity, you can bring that right shin farther forward, but then it's more important to bring tone into the ankle, like that tippy toe press. Curl the toes back, make one long line. Lift your chest on the inhale, and then exhale, walk your hands forward. You're welcome to grab a block, put that underneath your chest or your forehead. You can also use a pillow. We'll take 10 breaths here. Now I invite you to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. 9 more of those. Inhale, nose. Like you're fogging up your yoga mat. Exhale out of the mouth. For 8. And every time you exhale, you fall a little deeper into your pose. Last 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. And a little deeper, so as you rise back up, lean over onto your right hip, swing your left leg all the way around, so you can stack your left shin on top of your right shin, or in front of your right shin for double pigeon. Now each one of your legs creates 2/3 of an equilateral triangle, so pull that bottom heel out if you had it tucked in. You shouldn't be able to see your right knee, your left foot is stacked directly on top of it, and then you're flexing your ankles just to keep your knees happy. If there's a gap between your left knee and your foot, you can put a pillow there or a block there. And then for now, just take your hands behind your back, sit up tall, root your sitting bones down, and imagine the top leg pushing the bottom leg through the floor a little bit more. Now you can stay up high if you like. Or take your hands wide off of your mat and sway your chest side to side like a hawk. And as you slowly sway lower and lower, waddle your sitting bones back. Eventually, you'll pause at your depth. Maybe your chest lands on your shins. And if that's the case, draw your chin in and bring your crown towards the ground. Option to interlace your hands behind your back and extend your knuckles upwards towards the sky with the crown rooted down. Keep breathing into your outer hips for 3 more rounds. Now going slow to rise, we'll take it one step deeper. Stack your left knee on top of your right knee for Gomukhasana. So you can do this pose with your knees stacked or your right leg straight out in front with your knees stacked. And then pulling your heels into the outer hips, or for more intensity, bring your heels farther forward. Either way, flex the ankles again. Keep the stack of your knees, you use your hands. And then choose to stay up tall with your hands behind your back, your chest lifted, or add a tricep stretch. Reach your right arm up by your ear, fold your right elbow, placing your palm on your upper back. Then take your left hand to your right elbow. And see if you can guide your right elbow behind your head. Stay lifted as is, or reach your right hand off to your left hand off to the left. Slide your knuckles up your spine and see if you can grab onto your right hand like two elephant trunks, the Ganesha grip. Staying vertical, you can also hold on to your shirt or a towel, or lean forward, bringing your chest over your left thigh. Pull your bottom hand higher up your spine. Inhale, start to rise. Release your bottom hand if you're in the bind, followed by your top hand. Lean back and extend your legs out in front of you. Let your feet open and close just to realign the thigh bones in their hip sockets. Now, from here, we have to get back into downward dog. So if you have your two blocks, we could practice our transition from seated to dog pose. Take your blocks to your mat on either side of your hips, and then bend your knees so your hips are on the ground just behind your blocks. Keep your hands on your blocks. Lean back, lift your chest, and lift your legs, boat pose. Now, for this transition, I'll demo it first. So we'll lean back, you'll lengthen one leg, and you'll use that lengthened leg to push the other leg through as you lift your hips off the floor. And maybe you tiptoe your feet through your blocks to end up in Chaturanga, or you slide all the way here. All right, now let's give it a go. You can also practice on your tippy fingers if you don't have blocks. Now coming back into boat pose, lengthen one leg, lean back, breathe in, do it fast. Exhale, lift your hips, shoot your feet through, tiptoe through Chaturanga, exhale. Nice, inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can keep your hands on your blocks. Maybe you like it that way, experiment with it. Just walk your blocks a little farther forward. Take a breath, press back through the chest. Then go and lift your left foot off the floor, breathe in. Exhale, bring your left shin behind your wrists. You choose the intensity. And then when you lower your hips, you can ditch the blocks, put them aside. And then stay up high for that breath in. Exhale, start to bring your palms forward, your chest forward, your head forward. And we'll take 10 deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out of the mouth. Imagine you're in a body of water and you wanted to touch the ocean floor. Every exhale creates a little more depth. Sinking down, down, down into your pose. And you retain that depth on the next in-breath. Exploring a little more on the next out-breath. Bringing your attention to where you feel the stretch the most. Visualize that place expanding with your breath. Softening with the exhale. 4 more rounds to go. Walk your hands back up underneath your chest. Lean over onto your left hip. Swing your right leg around for double pigeon, also known as fire logs pose or Anjaneyasana. Now you might notice you have this knob in your knee. You also have this dent in your ankle. Can you make those two puzzle pieces fit together? And then flex your ankles, curling your toes back. Place your hands behind you. Lift up through your chest. Ask your top leg to push down into your bottom leg. Breathe in. And then exhale as you fold forward. If you did that on the other side, hands go wide. Waddle your sitting bones back as your heart reaches forward and your crown reaches for your mat. Slow as you roll yourself back up. Stack your right knee on top of your left knee. Option to lengthen your left leg. Gomukhasana, cow face pose. Pull your heels in toward your outer hips. Flex your ankles to keep them in. And if you do the shoulder stretch on the other side, bring your left arm up by your ear. Fold your left elbow. Hold on to it with your right hand. Guide your elbow behind your head. Lift your chin. Stay as you are, or right hand reaches up your back. Grab onto your left fingertips or your shirt. You can also use a towel. Staying vertical, inhale, or folding forward. Slowly exhale, breathing into the outer hips. Gently pulling up on the bottom arm. Slow, come all the way back up. Release your bottom arm, followed by your top. Lean back onto your hands. Lengthen your legs in front of you. Let the toes flop open and closed a few rounds. All right. Now bend your knees. Have your hips in the middle of your mat. Hold on to the back of your thighs. Roll your shoulders down your back, lift through your heart. And then lean back. Boat pose, lift your feet up off the floor. Make your big toes connect. Press them into one another a lot. Let it feel like one leg is holding up the other leg. Then you can release your arms. Then feel your shoulder blades squeeze together on your back. That rhomboid engagement we've been practicing. Hug the belly button in towards the spine. Lift to your chin. Option to lengthen through your legs. 5 breaths. Perhaps the arms come up by the ears. Shaking's okay as long as you're breathing. 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. Okay, and then hold on to the back of your thighs. Roll your spine down onto the mat. Hold on to your kneecaps and move them in circles. 3 clockwise. And then 3 counterclockwise. Slide your hands towards your shins. Guide your feet to the floor, right at the edge of your sitting bones. Extend your arms long by your sides. And feel your head push into the ground as you roll your shoulders back and down. Trace your awareness along your spine. Feel it connect all the way to the tailbone. Ground into your heels, your big toes. Exhale everything out. Keep that tone in your abdomen as you lift your hips off the ground, lengthening your tailbone upwards towards your knees. And then option to interlace your hands behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Use those rhomboids again. Keep your knees narrow, like when we use the adductors. And then explore lifting your heels off the floor. Now that your front body is longer, lift your hips even higher. Narrow your knees even closer. Lengthen your tailbone towards your knees, and then bring your heels back onto the mat. Imagine you could push the floor forward with your feet as you lift your chest up towards your chin and your chin up off your chest. Fill it with breath. 1 more big lift. Breathe in. Exhale. Release your interlaced hands. Relax your back down onto the ground. Widen your heels. Place your hands on your low belly. And take a few breaths with your eyes closed. vulnerable. We open up our heart. And there's also so much we can't see when we're in this pose. So it's a great place to establish trust in that which we cannot see. We are going to practice one more back bend. And you can repeat the pose we just did. Or if you're inspired to find full wheel, I'll talk you into it. Just remember, same rules apply. We hug to the midline the entire time. That way we protect the spine. All right, when you're ready, reset your feet so your heels are underneath your knees. Stretch your arms by your sides. Press your head into the floor. Roll your shoulders down your back. Exhale out of your mouth. And begin. Lift your tailbone up off the ground. Choose whether you want to stay here and interlace your hands, or bring your hands back by your ears, fingertips pointing towards your shoulders. Then come onto your tippy toes again. That'll make your front body longer, so you can rise and press the crown of your head into the ground. Roll your shoulders back and down, that same rhomboid engagement. Hug your elbows in, your knees in, and then start to push down with your hands to lift your head off the floor. Now press down with your feet and open up through your chest. Option to bring your heels back onto the mat. You're more than welcome to keep them lifted. Just feel your big toes push into the ground. Feel your knees stay narrow. Lengthen your tailbone to create space in your lower back. And then beam your heart forward. Open up your chest. One last breath. Awesome. Release chin to chest. Bring the back of your head down onto the floor if you're in wheel pose. Release your interlaced hands if you're in bridge. And then when you land, widen your feet so they're as wide as your mat, and tick-tock your knees side to side, right and left. Take your hands behind your head. Interlace your fingers there. Let this gentle twist help you release your lower back. Now the next time your knees are pointing towards the right, leave them there. Lift your head off the ground using your hands. Look down your body. Try to make your left thigh bone come straight forward from your chin. And as you release your head back into the ground, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Draw your left knee towards the floor. Relax your left ribs towards the mat. Then lift through your left hip. Breathing into your left psoas. So you might feel the stretch in the front of your left hip. You might feel it in your lower back or your inner thigh. The psoas connects our upper half to our lower half. And when we sit for a long time, the psoas can get tight and lead to back pain. We'll give it another breath here. And then change your legs. Uncross your right ankle. Swivel your knees up and over towards the left. Look down your body. So your right knee is extending straight forward from your chin. And then you can relax your head back down. Left ankle weighs the right knee down towards the ground. And then let the right ribs search for the floor, even though they probably won't find it. But the right hip gets to lift, like you're doing a hip bump to the ceiling. Feel your tailbone lengthen, breathing into the right psoas. 3 more breaths. Uncross your left ankle. Swivel your knees back up towards the ceiling. Then reach for your inner thighs or your inner feet coming into happy baby. Imagine your feet were standing on the ceiling so they're parallel to the sky. Pull down on your heels or your inner thighs as if you can touch your knees to the mat on either side of your ribs. Close your eyes, trace your spine. Feel the crown, the back of the neck, the shoulder blades, all the way down to the tail connect. And then if it feels nice, you can stretch one leg out at a time or rock side to side. All right, bring your legs together in front of your chest. Hold on to the back of your thighs. Pump your legs the same way you do on a swing. Rock yourself up to a seat. Extend your legs long out in front of you for a seated forward fold. Now it's okay to bend your knees. Just focus on your sitting bones on the floor. Walk your sits bones back. Lift your arms up over your head. Exhale as you fold forward. Your hands can reach down for your toes or your ankles or your shins. No attachment to how low you go. Focus instead on grounding into your sitting bones and lengthening your hamstrings. They helped us do all of those back bends. On every in-breath, extend from your tail to your crown. And on every out-breath, roll your shoulders back and down. 3 more cycles. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to deepen. Last 2. Then begin to rise. Roll up through your spine. We'll set up for a twist. Bend your right knee. Place your right foot outside your left thigh. Firmly root your foot into the floor and your right hand behind you. Lift your left arm up, breathe in. Exhale as you hook or hug your left arm around your thigh. Now take a moment to shift a little more weight into your right hip and stretch your left heel farther forward. Now close your eyes and visualize your lower back growing taller. Hug your belly button in as you spiral the low spine. Now breathe in, feel your rib cage expand. Exhale as you twist the ribs. Breathing in, check in with that right shoulder. Roll your right shoulder blade down your back as you exhale. And spin your chin back over your right shoulder. Even though your eyes are closed, turn your eyeballs to the right so everything twists on this last breath. Breathing in now, unwind your ribs. Take a brief counter twist to the left as you exhale. Come back around to center as you breathe in. Switch your legs. Extend your right leg in front of you. Bend your left knee. Place your left foot outside your right thigh. With your left hand behind you, extend your right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, hook your right elbow or hug your right arm around your left thigh. Sit nice and tall, breathe in. Drive more weight into your left hip and send your right heel farther forward. This is so that the sitting bones are no longer symmetrical. Let them shift a little bit so that the sacrum has a bit of wiggle room. Then lengthen through your lower back. Feel your lower vertebrae twist. Imagine your rib cage expand as you breathe in. Twist through the ribs as you breathe out. Soften your eyes, feel your left shoulder blade glide down your back. Spin your chin back over it. Last breath. Glaring to the left with your eyes. Again, inhale, unwind your spine. Take that brief counter twist to the right. Now, come back to center. We'll finish our practice with a few series of inversions. I'll give you plenty of versions to work on. So, headstand, Sirsasana. You can instead do tripod headstand for a little bit more base, a little more foundation. So if you want to try tripod headstand, bring your hands to the mat underneath your shoulder blades, and then walk your knees closer to your thumbs. You want to place your head on the floor in an equilateral triangle. So just notice where your hands are and place your crown forward and down on the ground. So you have this equilateral triangle. You can see your elbows over your wrists and in line with your shoulders. Roll your shoulders back and down to protect your neck. Tuck your toes under and lift your knees up off the floor. Walk your tippy toes in towards your hands as close as you feel comfortable with. And maybe you stay here today. Or draw one heel towards your seat. You can try the other heel or both. Pausing in this egg shape. Find your balance, roll your shoulders back, push down with your hands. And then if you're breathing okay, send your legs up towards the sky, coming into your tripod headstand. Now, just like when we did boat pose, bring the feet together, the big toes together, widen the heels. Lengthen your tailbone, hug your low belly in, roll your shoulders back, grounding into the palms, push the floor down. Now you can be here or you can be in Sirsasana, where you bring your hands to interlace at the back of your head and your forearms are on the floor, framing your head. Let your palms cradle the crown. Same rules apply, but you have less surface area on the ground. We'll be here for about 10 breaths, but you can come down at any point. Always protect your neck. Imagine you are wearing the world as your crown. Push down with the head. Roll your shoulders away from your ears. 3 more breaths. Slowly, with control, safely, bring your knees towards your chest and then your feet towards the floor. Come into child's pose. Shins together, hips onto the heels, forehead to the floor. Stay still or sway your forehead side to side a few times. If you just wore the world as your crown, consider that the king of all postures. Next, the queen. So we'll come to a seat and make our way towards shoulder stand. Now, if you have anything going on with your neck and you don't feel like doing shoulder stand, you can grab a block or maybe even a pillow. You can lie on your back, put that prop underneath your hips, roll your shoulders back and lift your feet up. It's a great variation. Otherwise, we're going to come through plow pose. So you can lie on your back, bring your elbows towards the mat by your sides, and then lift your legs up and over your head. Hold on to your back body, and then see if you can walk your hands higher up your back towards your ribs. Now if your toes touch the floor, curl the toenails back, press out through the heels, turn on the quads, look straight up through your thighs, but lift your chin off your chest. Option to interlace your hands together to see how close you can get your shoulder blades or your elbows. Now after 5 or so breaths here, we'll take it to a shoulder stand. So fold your elbows, hold on to your back body, and then lift your feet up towards the sky. Keep lifting your chin away from your chest. You can pike your hips a little bit. You don't have to be super vertical. Let the toes just float over your lips for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your legs over your head again, one at a time or both. This time we'll bend the knees so you can bring your knees up by your ears and curl them. Ask your neck to receive the stretch. After 5 breaths like that, extend your arms alongside your mat. You can hold on to your mat and slowly unravel all the way down. So your legs eventually extend forward and slowly land on the floor. Last pose to counter all of that, fish pose. The king, the queen, now here's the jack. Sit on your hands, palms facing down. This is a modification. Stay active through the legs, big toes connect. Then press your elbows down into the ground so you can start to arch your upper back, up off the floor. Charge your heart up skyward. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Let your head hang back onto your traps. And breathe. Opening up the space between your chin and chest, the thyroid. 2 more. And release. Coming into Shavasana, corpse pose. Extend your arms long by your sides. Turn your palms to face up. Let your feet flop open. Close your eyes. Take a nice long breath in through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth. Do that again. Inhale deeply. Open mouth, exhale. Last one. Now as you breathe out, relax your jaw. You can sway it side to side a few times. Just let that bottom piece hang heavy, being pulled down with the help of gravity. And then check in with your tongue. See if you can release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Feel your eyes pivot downward in their sockets. And bring your awareness to the back of your neck. Notice if those muscles are still active. Get curious about it. What does it feel like? Ask those muscles to let go. You can say the words, let go, in your head. As you breathe in, silently say let. And as you breathe out, silently say go. It might take time for those muscles to release, but when they do, continue to scan your body, working your way down your spine, noticing wherever you end and the mat begins. Checking in with the muscles that have yet to release. And slowly asking them to let go, one breath at a time. Falling into the floor. Relaxing your muscles. Let them weigh down your bones. Wrap your awareness around the arches of your feet. Relax each one of your toes. Imagine your shins melting like butter off of the bone. Soften through your quads. And notice your belly as it rises and falls with your breath. Also notice your heart beating in your chest. Continue to draw your awareness upwards, feeling your throat soft and open. Finally, holding the attention in your head. Watching the thoughts as they come and go. Just like clouds passing through the vast open sky of your mind. thoughts are something other than the real you. Come back to that true version of you, the listener, the witness, the observer. This part of you is peaceful all the time. It's the part of you that's patient, caring, kind. If we can learn to operate from this version of us, then we will know peace everywhere we go, no matter what is happening out there in the world. I invite you to rest in this sweet sanctuary for as long as you can. When it is time for you to reawaken, to slowly deepen your breaths. Grateful for your healthy respiratory system, for your ability to breathe. Eventually, you'll bring movement into your body with the toes and fingers coming alive with gratitude. Rolling through your wrists and ankles. Again, take your time. Eventually, the arms will reach over your head like you're waking up all over again. This version of you that is patient and kind. Rest on one side for a few breaths. To do nothing at all. To let something else go. To forgive yourself for something. To give yourself a break. Cradling your humanity, your vulnerability, and accepting yourself for who you are today. And when you're complete with your practice, take your time to come to a seated position and finish with a moment of gratitude. It's the antidote to everything. As you draw your hands together in front of your heart and bow inwards toward yourself, close your eyes and list all the things you are grateful for, big or small. Can you feel that warmth bubbling up in your heart? Or notice a smile appearing on your lips? Embodying gratitude. We need more of that out there in the world, so please carry it with you and share it with everyone you come into contact with today, physically or virtually. Take one more breath together. Inhale deeply. Exhale. The light in me honors the divine light within you. Thank you very much. Namaste.